What's up, guys? So, welcome to another episode of Flat Cart Mafia. This week, we got a couple people. Actually, we got Jake from down at CJ. He's going to be up here, and we got Blake Morris as a new track owner, getting his stuff ready up here at Thunderbolt Speedway. As you guys see, Shane will be on here maybe a little bit later. He's got some stuff he's dealing with, so hopefully he can make it up here and have a good conversation with us. And we're just going to go ahead and get right up into it. I'm going to bring Blake up and CJ. Hey guys, what's going on?
What's going on, buddy?
What's up?
So, thank you for joining me here this week. I talked to Shane earlier. Shane might be on. So he's out doing his father things. He's got his kids up here from Georgia, and he's up here for work, so he's spending a little bit of time. So no big deal, man. We got you. You know what I mean? We can handle it.
Absolutely.
But Blake, thanks for coming on the show. Jake, you're on here every week with us now. I love it. Nice little getting
good time
community going. Yeah.
Good to be here, buddy.
So I know the last time that you and I talked, Blake, that you just came off the road from the Gateway Nationals. You ran the late model up there, had some interesting stuff about that. That was great. I follow you guys, you and Parker on the Facebook there, and see that you guys are building some 4-cylinders now. Are you guys going 4-cylinder racing this year?
So I actually got back into the Mod Lights.
But you went Mod Light, right?
Yes. Yeah. I ran that class for 5 years, and I actually got one of my old cars back. The last one that I ran. I did some wheeling and dealing, and the guy came and got the late model, brought me some money, and gave me back my old car.
So the late model is no more.
It's no more. It's gone.
Oh, okay.
It's gone. Okay. And then I do have a 4-cylinder sitting here. It currently has no motor, nothing like that in it. But my dad is the black car that I built.
Okay.
I went through and I did the motor for it. We pretty much redid everything. That car there it's pretty stout. Last night we just had one of our buddies, Bradley Gibbhart, come out and run the valves and stuff like that for me. So he's been doing the 4-cylinder stuff a lot longer than I have. So he knows a little bit more on that game. But other than that, I think we're going to have a pretty good year racing. The Mob Light, it was pretty much done when he brought it to me. Very similar to where the way I left it. So okay. I got it up in the air. The wrap I haven't posted yet, but it's getting all done up. Chad Bishop with Bishop Graphics and Designs, he's doing that for me this year.
Really?
And then my 2 sponsors, the Angry Bull Saloon. The last wrap lady, the KB Custom Designs, she is no longer doing wraps.
Really?
So, yep, she went out and she got offered a job just designing. So me and her talked, and she's pretty happy over there. Don't have to deal with the business anymore. And then the Smith and Company, tattoo shop, piercing, right there in Zanesville. He came back on board with us this year. And then House of Wax. So that's that is my mom's little business she runs. She sells like the little touch lamps. You touch it and it burns like the little wax cubes on the top of them.
Okay.
Make the rooms and stuff like that smell good. She creates her own waxes and sells the lamps and everything online.
Nice. If you want to put that information in the chat, man, we'll keep pushing it for all your stuff. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
So you're going to probably run at what? I mean, where are you going to run the Mod Light at?
So I'm racing for points this year at Midway Speedway in Crooksville. That is a goal of mine to finally win a chance. I've been every time I ran a Mod Light, I ran for points there, and I've been a second, fourth. I just never seem to be able to get it done.
Right.
So this year we're really going to buckle down to try to make that happen. We will be. Oh yeah, that track is a blast.
Yeah, I love Midway.
But we're going to shoot for Muscatine County Speedway's opening night.
Okay.
And we'll probably hit their races. I think they got 7 this year.
I did see their schedule. There wasn't a whole lot. I think you're right. There's like 6 or 7 races on there.
Right. So that's what we're planning on, is to be at Muskegon's big track, and then we support Little Muskie as well. So we'll be there with Parker and probably the old lady with the flat carts.
Nice.
And then if I get down in another one, we'll see what happens.
Great. What's new with you, Jake? Anything?
I just been working my hind end off. Other than that, it's either go karts or cars. Either way it goes. I can't do a whole lot of track this week. If you look right here behind me in this picture, I got water right now. Would probably be about right here where my thumb is.
Really?
Just almost. Yeah. So we've had a lot of rain, and I got a drain. It's just it's slow going because my creek's all backed up, so it's draining out real slow. So
see, that's my issue right now, is I don't have a drain, and my backstretch floods because that's the one right beside the creek. So it's kind of moisture squishing and hits my backstretch, and then it's just like a little pond right there. So I'll probably go out there tomorrow and pump it out and see if I can try to keep the water off of it.
Well, we pumped that first year, and then after that, I said, "Nah, I ain't gonna do this no more." So I fixed it where it's got a drain in it, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. But if we get the rain like we've got right now, I think it's either an 8 or 12 inch. I think maybe it's 8 or 10. It can't keep up with the volume rain we got right now.
Really?
I mean, this is crazy, man. This rain is crazy. Like, I had to go down to Knoxville, Tennessee on Thursday for work. And, man, there was 3 of us in the truck. And we literally started in the rain and never stopped until we got down to close to Knoxville. And then it was like a blistering 89 degrees down there. Then as soon as we start coming back, it was rain again all the way. Like, I was like, holy cow, man. And you can just watch as we went through Knoxville and Tennessee and Kentucky. Like, you can just watch the water was getting higher and higher as we was getting back up here to Ohio. Man, that's just crazy, man. And then this week, I looked at the weather earlier. It's supposed to be down in the 20s. So we're back into the winter.
Nuts. Yeah, it's cold right now.
Golly, man, we are never going to get out of this funk. I've never seen it like this, where it's spring feeling and then winter again. You know what I mean? And then, it's just crazy.
It's going to be snowing in September.
I know, man. I mean, God, this weather's crazy. Mm-hmm. So, okay, Blake, man. So your track's where? All right off of 40? Or is that right outside of Zanesville?
You were right in between Zanesville and Newark. Or Heath, whichever one you want to get technical with. Right here in Brownsville, right outside Bowling Green Township.
How far are you away from like 664 or 668?
668 is right down the road.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not even 5 minutes away.
Okay.
Right at 668 is where, if they're coming from Columbus to the track, they'll use that exit to get onto 40 to come here. Or if they're going down through Zanesville, I'm not sure. I think just the Gray Shot exit is where they'll come up through.
Okay. So are you? I mean, I know you. I mean, I've seen the photos and stuff. How close are you guys ready to start actually putting stuff on the track besides the rain and stuff? I mean, are you guys pretty close? Or
I've done a lot of work just for what I can. Again, what I've told everyone last year is I do not have a whole lot of equipment. We have gained some. I got a disc now, a couple different drags, an aerator. I got my scraper blade and everything for the tractor. The biggest thing I'm working on right now is getting almost like an arena drag or a driveway drag, to where it'll just kind of help flatten the dirt out, because I'd like to disc it up just like a real light disc and just kind of help spread the dirt a little bit more. I think that'll help me keep it smooth. But I got, chain link fence that has some weight on it. I've been using to drag it around. That helps out a lot. But my biggest issue is humps. I have this I'm digging with pretty much farm dirt is what we're building a track out of. So I only can go down so much, and I had it disced up all winter long. If you go back there and look at the pictures, I had it disced up for a long time and let the moisture get down deep. but it's so dry underneath there, it just sucks the moisture right from the top. So I can only dig every time I go out and work on it. I can only get about 3-4 inches out of the dirt, and then I'm right back into solid ground.
Really?
Yeah. And then with my tractor, it's a Massey Ferguson T20. It's not the biggest thing, but the same thing as a Ford 9N. Once it gets into that real solid dirt, it doesn't want to move it. So I'm working on getting a skid steer out here, especially before our first practice. Just because, like I said, I'm down to where the rest of the track, to me, I would race on it and I'd be happy with it. It's just two little humps where I know if you're racing two, side by side, and you got to pass somebody, it would be pretty aggravating to, hit that big bump and cause you to either lose control, or it's not even in the racing line. But I just know that would be an accident waiting to happen. Someone try to make a move and hit that rock, and I'm here for the racers, so I'm just going to try to make it the best that I can.
Jake, I don't know how he would get down farther without ripping it. With like a rip blade or something.
What I use all the time, my main tool I use the most is a rototiller on the back of my tractor.
Okay.
6-foot rototiller, it works fantastic. Even unless you're dealing with like really hard, like concrete dirt, and even then it still chew it up pretty good. But
absolutely,
rototiller, it'll wonders. And the nice thing about the rototiller is if you do have rocks that come up in there, because it's turning and fluffing, the heavy particles tend to fall to the bottom, and your dirt, the lighter stuff, stays on top. So It makes, when you're done, it looks like a flower bed, and then when you pack it in, it makes a wonderful surface.
Okay, so maybe I like to go to a lot of auctions. So maybe next farm auction, something like that, I go to. I'll see if I can find one of those.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, how big is your tractor?
It's Ford 5000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sitting here telling you to rip it up with a dozer, like get a ripper and start ripping. That'd really.
Well, I would have to go. You wouldn't have to go quite that deep, but I can get. It'd dig down about a foot even with a rototiller on it. But
see, that's about all I need. I just need to be able to spread it out, get it good.
And that's what it does. That rototiller, they got like a flap on the back, and as you're going, it'll just kind of smooth things out. It just looks like a real nice flower bed. Then you start running that in and put more water on it. Just makes a super nice surface. Just super nice. And the biggest thing I like about it is really, if you do have rocks or anything you come across, it lays them down toward the bottom. Just kind of keep bringing the dirt back up, puts the dirt, down. So it lays it out real good.
That's one issue we had a lot with last year. And I'm not here to hide anything from my track. It's, we do have a lot of pebbles, a lot of rocks. And we actually found a little bit of glass in it last year. I've been working on getting the dirt and everything cleaned up, sort of keeping it to where I'm not so much wanting to dig further down because I have the track surface. So the first 2 inches, I would say, is probably clean dirt, where I've just walked through and got the big chunks of rocks. And, I've been out there with leaf blowers, just blowing whatever rocks and stuff off that I can, and then water it, pack it back in, disc it back up, and just see what I find.
Yeah.
So
you'll find more rocks every time.
Every time.
Every time you'll find rocks. I don't care. I've walked that track a gazillion times. We picked up rocks. We've thrown them in the creek and everything else. But you're always going to find, like, where did that even come from? How did that get there? But as you get a tiller, it does get better because you'll get smaller rocks because, you'll come across the big ones. But every time you're going to find something and you're like, man, where did that come from?
Yep.
Because it's been there, but you don't know how it got there because you didn't hit it last time. You hit it this time. But it's a constant every time thing. I tell mine every week.
Every week.
Every week.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, what's the advantage of tilling that every week, Jake?
Pardon?
What would be the advantage of tilling that every week?
Well, you
compared to like racing on it and then like leaving it and then just watering it for the next race,
Oh, here's what I run into, and I've seen this done other tracks, and that's, if they want to do it, that's perfectly fine. I've seen people do that, but I till it every week because after the night's over with, my surface, as the sun comes out and bakes that, you get these cracks. You'll see the dirt just start cracking, because it's hardening, and what the moisture is leaving the ground, and it just start cracking up, start shrinking. And then if you just water it, basically all you're doing is putting a little bit of water in that first couple inches like you're talking about. Well, if you don't get any deeper than that, as the night goes on, the track just dries out and you got nothing there. So I typically every week I till. Sometimes I'll run the disc also, depending on how much I need to. But the tiller is kind of the final thing. I'll do the tiller, and then if I need to, I'll put a drag a little bit maybe, and then I start running in with the truck. Once I get it running, then I'm dumping more water on it. Depending on how dry it is outside. Like July, it's real dry. It ain't got no rain like a month or so. I'll take the disc, and I got I think there are 22-inch discs on it, so it's a big disc, and I'll disc that real good, and then I'll start dumping water on it, and I mean just dumping water on it, and then I'll go through after I do that. Then I'll till it, and that moisture is, I mean, it's it's at least a foot down in the ground, and then after I till it, everything looks good. Then I'll pack it in with the truck. Roll it all in, then I'll start putting more water on top of that. So I'll start like 7 o'clock in the morning and get it ready. But it makes such a good service.
Is that the day of the race that you do that, or really?
Yeah,
How
I've done that.
Do you do that?
Well, I mean, like I said, sometimes I'll start 7 in the morning. I'll go down and I'll dump a bunch of water on it, and just dump a bunch of water. I'll make 6-7 trips, dump water, maybe let's say about 2,000 gallons maybe. And then I'll come through after a little bit, after it gets time to kind of soak in, then I'll disc it, and then I'll till it, and then I'll run it in, and then I'll start putting more water back on it.
Wow.
Yeah. But
that's crazy. That's a lot of work, man. I commend you guys for it, man. That's a lot of work.
Yeah. But it makes it just a good racing service. I mean, it really does.
See, that's what I'm aiming for. Is my track? It's got its own unique shape to it, especially with having one corner that is almost like a high bank, and then one corner that's pretty well flat.
Yeah.
I like seeing 2 wide racing. I would put the go-karts. If we can get 3 wide, that would tickle me to death. Yeah. But that's all I want. I want to be able to. I don't want to have to move somebody to pass them. Obviously that's the flat cart game. If you have to do it, you do it. But if you're that much faster and you can do it and just drive right around them on the outside or something like that, that's the excitement. That's where it's, man, I was actually faster than that guy, and I have to punt him to move him.
Yep. That's how we run down here. We don't just knock somebody out of the way.
Right.
And my track's not big by no means. It's just about a 10th mile track. And we'll go with 3 wide lots, 4, even though we shouldn't, but we'll go 4. And, we don't just knock them out of the way or anything like that. We're passing. We'll run high, 3 wide all the time. So
how wide is your track?
I'd say about how should I say this? I haven't really exactly measured it when I built it. So the pickup truck I run that in with all the time is it's a 98 square body Ford. It's about 3 truck widths.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Mine is the front stretch and back stretch is about 30 to 32 feet wide.
Yeah.
And then the corners, the big corner is probably roughly about the same, maybe 28 to 30. And the little corner, it's a little more narrow. The flat corner is about 20 to 22, I would say.
Yeah.
But to me, the way I seen it was you're going to be funneling down into a flat corner anyway, so you should be slowing down as well. There was really no point of me widening that even further out because I don't see it being used.
Yeah.
So, and I don't want to add any banking because, like I said, I like it. Even when I go out there on a go-kart and race it, it tricks me up sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where, depending on how fast you go in, what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. Yep. My track, it's banked pretty good on both ends, but 3 and 4 is different than 1 and 2. So you're always kind of trying to play the game where they come in, I'm good in 3 and 4, but I can't get through 1 and 2, or I'm good at 1 and 2 and I can't get through 3 and 4. And you got to try to find that happy medium where you're good at both ends. That way you're pretty much fast overall.
Right.
And it's always it's always a tail chasing game to figure it out. Makes it interesting.
Absolutely.
But Jake, that track was kind of there when that, like, is it your wife's dad or something like that? Is that the history of that again?
No. My
Yeah,
track.
not yours. I meant Blake. I'm sorry,
Oh,
Blake.
yeah.
So this track here was my girl's grandpa's, Gerald Evanston. Yep, he built go-kart motors for many, many years. And then when she started racing, they went down there and built a practice track. And then they decided, years on, she grew up a little bit, didn't race as much. The track started growing over. He built a house, and they used some of the dirt because that other corner used to be banked. They used the dirt off of the one corner to bring it up to put it underneath the house to level it all out.
Really?
So that's why the one corner is cut down.
Okay.
But yeah, once he passed, we inherited everything. And I wanted to, right before he went, I cut it all out with a tractor, well, just a garden tractor. I cut it all out and I stood back and looked at it. And I talked to him about, how it went and where everything kind of was, the corners. And he explained everything to me. And then you could actually see, the more I cut it out, you could see the old surface start coming back. And then we used a dually, a Kubota tractor, our go-karts, mowers. I would mow it as far down as we could, and then we'd blow it off with the go-kart, just racing on it until we finally got down to that real dry dirt. And then I finally bought a tractor, and we started getting. We've been building this place for this will be our second year building it. No, yeah, about 2 years, 2.5 years. We've been fully building the track and not just playing it. But now, this year we're going to take it a little bit more seriously. So.
But prior to you, it was never open or anything. It was just a private test track.
That's it. That's it. We'd go down there. They took cars down there, four wheelers, whatever they could take down there to go have fun around. They did. There's pictures of her where her favorite car was Ford Pintos. And they had one, and she'd take it down there and rip it around there before she was 16 to have a license. That was her how she could drive her car, was take it down there and drive it around the yard.
Nice. So is she going to race at all?
We still have her cart. My goal was that was her and Gerald's cart. We would like to just hang it up on the wall and buy her another one. That we know it's not going to get destroyed. It was kind of like their last hoorah together before he went downhill. So just me, out of my respect for him, I would like to just hang that one up on the wall and leave it alone, because I'm not stupid when it comes to setups, I guess you would say. I can figure out how to make something. If it's pushing, I can figure out how to make it loose. If it's loose, I can make it tight. This go-kart here has been one of the most it's bad. It's just one of those the bad eggs that no matter what you do, it does not like it. And I told her, I was like, he was the only one that could figure out how to make that thing to turn. We'll just start fresh. So that's kind of what we're aiming for. It hasn't happened yet. So if it still don't, by the time racing comes, she will still be in it. And the last actually race she ran, it didn't do too bad. We was actually kind of onto something. So I feel like if we go back again this year and get her some more laps on our track, she's great. And she wouldn't race on it for the longest time because she always said it was too rough. Even when he was out there in the yard carts, and then she got pregnant when, that was 9 months of us building it, and she'd go out there and play on it, just a little bit here and there, and it'd still be too rough for her. At the end of last year, when we started having practices, she was actually really liking the track because she could, pass, and the cart actually hooked up very well out here. But that's my rule is my guys that works here, and like her, we are not racing, while we're running the track. I don't like when the stock car guys do it. I don't like when track owners jump in a car to go try to race. If you got to pick one. You're either racing or you're promoting the track. And I don't want the whole thing as if Parker was to go out and win. That's the last thing I need is people going all over Facebook and calling me saying that, well, he gets to turn 1,000 laps all throughout the week, and He knows that track better than anyone else. Of course, he's going to win, and you're not going to tech him because he's your buddy. And I'm just not here for that. I want to see, and he agrees too.
Yeah, but the thing with that though is, man, is that if you're going to be that petty, then you're just that type of person. But I look at it as I want to be out there with the guy that knows that track the best because it's my job to run him down and get around him. You know what I mean? My mentality.
I'm gonna be on the flag stand, and then he's gonna be helping me run, the track prep, keep everything flowing smoothly. I did tell him that we could run the yard cart class, so we can go out there and have some fun with everybody. But I mean, he even agreed too that what we built, it's kind of our excitement to watch everyone else have fun and enjoy it. Than it would be to go out and try to race against everybody and plus work at the same time. It's just, It's too much.
That's a good call. I mean, if that makes you guys happy and it keeps the competition happy and it keeps the bull crap down, then hey, man, you got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean? And I mean, I think you're onto something there. I mean, you're mostly going to run Friday nights? Is that still the plan for you guys?
That's the plan.
So I will be releasing.
I will be releasing this schedule onto Facebook, but just for whoever's listening, if you want to grab a pen and paper, our opening practice is still April 18th. That's going to be free. I ain't charging nobody to get in. You come in, we'll have 2 go-karts on the track at a time. Let everyone turn maybe 5-6 laps. We'll throw the checkered and bring on the next 2. But our opening night, I am still shooting for April 25th. That is the goal. And then we are going to go to May 23rd and then June 20th. And then depending on how the first 3 races go, I'm going to try to have a 2-day show.
Oh.
There we go. I'm going to try to have a 2-day show in July, the 18th and the 19th for the Gerald Livingston Memorial. I'm not sure how we're going to run that race yet because, like I said, we are racing for points this year. So I don't know if we're going to do like maybe a double points thing or if we're going to run it as 2 different shows, or maybe we'll bring in a little bit of money and try to make it a heat race qualifying on Fridays and features and B-names and stuff like that Saturday. Who knows? But after that, we'll run into August 29th and then September 12th. And then October 10th will be the season championship. And then we have, let's see here. I might have to look. I thought I wrote it down. On which one is the Ohio Valley Predator Series race. I can get back to you with 1 second. I do have that here somewhere. I'll have to have her look it up for me real quick. I believe that is September 12th. I believe that's when that race is. So stand by on that. But yeah, that's all we're doing this year is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 races. And then November 14th, I would like to do some kind of turkey race, have some kind of Thanksgiving bash, something like that, just for fun. Let everyone come back out one more time before the cold weather hits us too bad.
Okay, so like the memorial race, what is that?
So the memorial race, again, we're just going to be paying our respects to Gerald. The way I'm doing my track this year, again, I'm a stock car guy. I like the big track stuff. I'm going to try throwing a little bit more, we'll say, big cars style into it. Like our restart, we're going to do the Delaware double file restarts. I think that's a pretty cool thing.
Mm-hmm.
When we do big racing, whoever the main event is for the night, whether it's the Predator 350s, the mini wedges, whoever, hopefully we have a decent sized car count. but I would like to do the 4-wide trade lap. That'd be a pretty cool thing, or maybe just a 3-wide start. But just things like that. But the Garrett Livingston Memorial, like I said, we'll probably have a big bonfire on the 18th if it is a 2-day show. Just let it roll into the 19th. Maybe I'll put up a practice the 17th, make it, let people come back out and have their fun.
Nice. So, what classes are you guys going to run there?
So we are shooting for Predator 350s and 400s. Charger. There you go. Predator 350s and 400s. The rookies 8 to 11 and 12 to 15. The 8 to 11s will have to run a green plate and weigh 260 pounds. The 12 to 15 will be purple plate at 290 pounds.
Okay.
And then stock appearing is 350. On slicks, no treaded tires for stock appearing. And then the mini wedges, we're going to have the rookies and the vets. The rookies will be on a purple plate, and the vets are on the unrestricted. Both of them have to weigh 345, and they're going to be on any Burris or Hoosier split tire.
Okay.
And then we'll have our yard cart class.
Okay, that's cool. I like the yard cart class. That's different.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Hey Shano.
What's going on, buddy?
Glad to see you able to get here. So, you're having the Ohio Valley Predator Series or Championship there, right?
Yes, and that's what I wanted to look at. I don't know if I click off, if you guys can still hear me. I was just going to pull this up real quick.
Yeah,
you can, if you go down, you can see where you can mute it yourself, or you can shut down your cam, and it'll go to like a little circle. You can do whatever you need. Or I can drop you down, and you can just let me know when you're ready, and I can bring you back up. That's however you want to do it, Blake.
He must be doing it. How you doing, Shane?
good. Hey, Ken, you can't get rid of me. I'll always be back. They tried to make cream for it, but I still find my way back.
Even antibiotics can do it.
Yeah, right.
How you fellas doing?
All doing good.
Well,
I figured I'd hop on here for a little bit. Spending some time with the kids up here while I'm up here in Ohio. This weather sucks.
What?
What is going on?
We had to give you a taste of the winter that you didn't get none of, because you was down there in Georgia and at the beach and sending me crap all winter long, and this is this payback. I asked for it for this week because I knew you was going to be up here.
Yeah, it's been nice. I mean, I do have to say though, coming up and seeing everybody. I'll be up here for one more week of work and got to hang out with Phil. What day was that?
That was last Tuesday.
Last Tuesday. It's a good time.
Yeah, we had dinner together.
Yeah, good time. Talked about some things.
Yeah.
You got yourself some new parts this weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, I got a new seat and some basic stuff. I went to the Bear Spring thing that he had.
Yeah.
Really never got to go there, and he's got a nice little setup there, man.
Yes,
he's got
he
everything that you'd ever need for sure. I mean,
yeah.
He's very, very open about, like his times and stuff. Like he's told everybody, like, hey man, if the time that we're open doesn't set, just message me. I'll meet you out there or make time or whatever. I mean, you can't ask for anything more than that,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I got what I needed to get me through.
Mm-hmm.
There's some other things I need. I need to talk to Jake off the air because I need to see if he's got something that I can barter with him, because I think I know what direction I'm going to go. So,
I do know, if time permitted, I don't know. I'll try to squeeze it in, but maybe if I can, maybe make a trip down that way.
Come on
That'd be
down.
nice. That'd be
So
nice. We need to do that before you leave. We'll both
that's
go
what I
down
was
there.
saying. I'll see what I can do. Try to work it in. Saturday, I don't know. I'll get with you guys and see what's going on, and maybe I can squeeze a trip down that way, and say, hey, I got your hat hanging out with me. If worst comes to worst, I'll leave it up here with Phil or something like that.
Now
So
we'll
I
have to
can.
get down there before you leave for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But
Because
no, I was just wanting to hop on here real quick. Well, you guys are doing great. I've been hopping in every so often. Blake, glad to see you back on the show, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Glad to
Hey,
be here.
yeah, great. I was missed being up at the mall this year. And did you guys go up there this year?
We have the 4-cylinder in it this year. I didn't put anything in.
Oh, you didn't put anything in there.
No, first
Oh yeah, you
time,
did
and
have the force. Yeah, I
I think
did.
first time in 7 years I haven't had a car in there.
Really?
you got
Yeah,
to run the late model, Shane.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, they do that little thing at the mall where you just show off stuff, and that's kind of how I met him. Was up there as our go
Mm.
karts were sitting next to his race team, and we get in the chat and stuff like that, and it was a good time though. It's a
Oh,
nice little
absolutely.
neat thing they do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know last year you tried to get me, but it was too late. And then I
Yeah.
seen it this year, and I didn't know if Addie was going to do it or not. So
No.
kind of stayed clear. Plus, I wasn't even ready, man. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Addie, tell them what you've been doing to yours.
Mine's stripped down. Like, there's nothing on mine. Like, there's not even a seat on mine right now.
well, you only got a couple weeks, man. Their first test and tune. I
I
mean,
know.
Blake's got one. He's got one coming up, and then Jug's got one the week after. I mean, it's
I
going to be
know.
tough.
We'll get it done. It's all right.
Yeah. Well,
That's it.
that's why we gotta keep your dad up here longer. That way he doesn't go back down to Georgia. No need to go down there. He's Ohio boy. He needs to stay up here.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Need to hide his cart.
Yeah.
We're making phone calls to his work. Like he doesn't want to come back. He's just not going to tell you.
Right.
Sabotage.
Leaving voicemails.
Yeah, Addie's leaving voicemails like, nah, he's going to stay up here. We're all
Nah,
good.
he's sick today. He can't make it.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. He'll be sick tomorrow too.
Yeah. So, okay, Blake, so what was your
Okay.
name?
So my little error here. I was actually reading off a schedule that I updated that was not correct. So I have a whole nother rundown here. Most of the dates I read off were correct, but our opening night is the 18th. Our first practice is the 11th.
So it is next weekend.
Yes, April 11th is our practice.
Okay. I won't
April.
be ready, but I will come up there and I will support you and I will come up there and watch for sure.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm sure I can put you to work on something.
You can. All you want, I'll help you as much as I can.
April 18th is our opening night, and then it falls back through to what we said originally was May 23rd, June 20th, our 2-day event, which is July 18th and the 19th, August 29th, and then this date was also changed. This is our September 19th. That is the Ohio Valley Predator Series.
Okay.
So our Ohio Valley race is September 19th, which will be followed by the October 10th, our championship, and then our November 11th, which will be, like I said, a non-points, just come out and have fun, and we'll race some go-karts.
There you go, man.
So-
That Ohio Predator, man, he has a good following, so he always has a good turnout.
Oh, absolutely. It's grew a lot with sponsors as well. We had our little meeting over wintertime there, and just, the amount that he's brought to just the Ohio Valley region is pretty cool.
Yeah, I was talking to him yesterday, and I've talked to him several times actually, but I talked to him yesterday, and the stuff that he's doing for go-kart racing here in the Southeast is phenomenal. You know what I mean? I mean, he goes down to Daytona for their big kart race down there. I mean, he's in the Midwest. I mean, he's man. I mean, the guy's all over the place, man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he is all over the place. And then I
And
think he said he's got like 8 or 9 races this year for the Higher Predator Championship, which is great.
yeah, very very good promoter. And just getting his foot in the door to make things happen is pretty cool.
Yeah, like I was telling everybody while you was looking for your thing, like I got over to the shop yesterday for his spring sale. I was a little late getting there, but I got there and I mean he stopped doing what he's doing. He walked me around the shop. We talked. Um, we talked a good bit about some good knowledge that he passed on to me. So I mean I definitely take that to heart and you learn it and you go and like
Good,
none of us is professionals, so we all learn from each other.
absolutely.
It's like Jake and Shane and I. We all talk about prep and we do our own little science experiments, I guess. You know what I mean? But
It's either going
I
to
mean,
make you better or slower.
yeah, I mean, that's kind of the reason why, like Shane and I, kind of really started this was to get people more interested in the sport to grow tracks like yours and Jake's and Jug Run and Bear Tracks and Little Muskie and stuff like that, man. I just wanted to see it grow.
Well, it's nice to get something like this to let the other people will know what's going on that might not have Facebook uh or they
Right.
do have Facebook that but don't can't find the page or oh man what was that track's name and it takes one person to say the name to be like hey we should go check this place out. So no, I agree with what you're doing is awesome.
Yeah, my format, man, is I mean, now that the season's getting closer and it's getting once the season start, I'll have a lot more content, especially racing content. Like right now, we're just like in limbo. Like I love having like you and Jake on here because you guys are owners. Like it's just not. There's more to it than just showing up and racing. You know what I mean? I mean,
Absolutely.
I want these guys to know that come to the racetrack. Like, man, there is a lot more to it than just us showing up racing. I mean, like we actually finally get to hear your guys' side of like track prep and stuff. Like Jake's telling hey man, I mean, he could have said, I'm not going to tell you how to better the track. He could have, but he's like, hey man, from a track owner to track owner, he discs his every week. And I mean, that's what it's all about. Is getting
um,
these
there's
guys.
uh there's not very many dirt tracks left, big cars and go-kart tracks. So
Right.
if we all don't work together, if and I mean, like I said, I can't even say we because I'm just now getting started in this. But if we'll put my two local tracks in Muskingum and Midway, if they decided to run against each other all the time for 7 or 8 races, I mean, one track's going to hurt. It's just it's going to be one or the other, or they're both. It's going to be a constant battle. You're going to see that with a lot of classes now, and that's one thing that I hate about go kart racing is just how many different classes there is, which is also kind of a cool thing. But me personally, it's like, oh my gosh, like we're racing 12 classes tonight. Like, we're gonna be here till 3 in the morning trying to get them all done and through, and that's why I've only, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 classes, and I mean, I'm hoping to be done and still be able to go out to dinner if I want to. So,
Yeah.
Good luck.
I'm with you. I
right.
mean,
Good
like
luck.
right. That's exactly what I was going to say too, Jake. Because, like, I mean, I don't know. I know Jake's never been here, but I don't know, Blake, if you've ever been up the Jug Run or not. But I mean, they have 8 or 9 classes too, and I mean, I dude, I don't think I've ever got out of there at like at like what you're going to dinner. You know what I mean? And I mean, but
See, Little Muskie, I give them props. They've had a couple good shows where we've been out of there before 10 o'clock.
I've
Uh,
been to one of those. Yes.
Bear was pretty good at getting us out there. Limestone, sometimes you'll get a good. They like to do the intermission and give everyone time to talk and enjoy themselves, which is no problem. Especially on a Saturday. But with me running on Fridays, I'm going to run kind of more of a rush show is what I'm going to try to do. Everyone's getting off work. I'm planning on, opening my gates probably around like 3:30, 4 o'clock, and carts on the track around 6, and just trying to keep the ball rolling. Like I said, this is all hopes and dreams. If it works out that way, great. If not, if everyone bring a tent. We'll get it done eventually. So, and that's just how I am. I'm not gonna boo-hoo throw a fit, and I just hope it's racers. So you're gonna have 5 guys that's gonna tell you what you're doing wrong, and 1 guy that's gonna tell you, "Hey, good job tonight." We're here to do it.
You're not going to make everybody happy.
No,
you're not
it's
gonna make everybody happy. There's no
You
way.
can't make everybody happy.
Right.
We're running one class at my place, and it's just mostly adults. Now we run kids in between the adults.
okay.
And we're here every time till 1 o'clock in the morning. But we keep racing too. It's not like we just run our heats, our feature, and we're done. We'll keep running other features. But as long as people's ready to run, we just keep going. And then when we're done with that, then we'll stay here and we'll talk to Daylight about what just happened all night long.
See, that's what
my wife. Early, good luck.
Yeah, my wife. My wife would literally kill me. I just wore that part out of our relationship because we were into drag racing so much, and we would go to the track and we would be there all day. Then we got into dirt, we'd be there all day. You know what I mean? And me, I'm with Jake. I will stay there until whenever. I will sit in the garage and we will talk, whatever.
Absolutely.
My wife couldn't do that. She'd kill me, man. I wouldn't be allowed back for a while for sure. But okay, Jake. So how long has your track been in existence?
This will be 4th year.
So the 4th year.
Fourth year, 5th year. We built the track whenever COVID hit.
Okay, so what's the biggest changes from the time Jake's about to experience for being really a first-time track guy owner? What do you think he's going to what transitions is he's going to go through? You're going to find out
a lot what works and what doesn't. You're going to your time schedule. You'll start. I can't say there's nothing wrong with kind of pushing the show along, but you're also going to run into nights where, just like any other track, you either go ahead or you wait, one or the other. Somebody they're going to blow a motor, they want to swap a motor, or you just get done with your heat race and you're getting ready to run your next race, but you're running separate classes, so it should give them a little more time. But there's been nights here we'll hold up things a little bit to let somebody get fixed up so they can get back out there if they tore something up and things like that. You're on a flag, you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I suggest get a set like headphones or something, maybe help you communicate back and forth with other people that's helping you do it.
What my goal is for that is I'm going to have 2 corner guys, 1 and 2, 1 and 3 and 4, and then me, and our 3 headsets are going to be the only ones talking to each other, and then I'm going to have my score person right down below me, to where helping keep things lined up, and then she's going to be talking to the guy I have over there lining the carts up. That's it. That's all we're doing.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to actually have 2 guys in the infield they're not wearing any headphones. The only thing they're doing is starting go-karts and helping clean up wrecks, to where my corner guys, we can just sit there and talk if we have to. And I told them, I was like, you're not liable to go and I said, go help if you want to. I was like, but if we're talking about a caution or something like that, or rough driving, I said, I need you guys to be talking to me and not fixing the wreck and dragging the process further out. Cause now you're just like, oh man, I don't know, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my goal, is to help push it along.
Yep. And then everything, you'll run a little while and everything will kind of start clicking, kind of falling in place. You'll know about how long about how many people you get on average. And then you'll know how long hot laps is going to take and how long, how things they'll kind of schedule almost work itself out, more or less what I'm saying. Now there's times too, I'll kind of help hurry things along. People kind of start dragging a little bit, because I don't try to push anybody, but at the same time, you'll kind of just fall into a rhythm. It'll be all right. Once again, you're not going to please everybody.
Nope.
Everybody's going to have their own opinion. One night, track's going to be great to somebody, and the other night, somebody's going to say the track was too dry, or track was too tacky or the track was too rough, or you're going to have them kind of issues. You can't make everybody happy. Of course, everybody's got to have some kind of scapegoat why they didn't run good too.
Absolutely.
So, you
Yeah,
know,
it's always your fault.
You're going to run into something. So, and then ultimately, we haven't had any like knockdown fights or anything down here, but we've had disagreements. But main thing with that, try to stay as professional as you can.
Yeah.
Don't go over there and threaten to knock the block off somebody's head or anything like that. You know, just try to be professional and keep it above board. And you know, if they don't feel like staying that way, ask them to leave. And you know, just that's the biggest thing I could say. Just try to maintain a level of professionalism, I guess, when you're doing that kind of thing.
I gotcha.
And, other than that, I mean, you'll run across things as you run across things, and your equipment. That's another big thing. Like I said, I got extra equipment here because we do equipment stuff for a living. But you know, I try to make the track as smooth as I can because that just overall makes the experience better for everybody. The racing's better. So that's the biggest focus I got before the race time happens. And then, are you going to do any concessions or anything like that?
So not really. I do have like a seating area for people that wants to come watch. And then I'm telling everyone to bring coolers, bring your own snacks, stuff like that. I did get a hookup on porta potties.
Yeah.
To where two of them can be dropped off out here. I actually got to get with that guy to finally get him out here. But yeah, that's the plan at least. And then concessions, I thought about having like a food truck come out. We talked about doing stuff in house. Going through the hoops to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just we're in the works with some things, but right now my biggest goals is just getting the track ready, getting it to where people want to keep coming back, and then I can worry about how to satisfy them. I'd much rather them want to race on the track surface first before I get into having a playground for the adults.
Right. And that's the biggest thing. The better you make that surface, the better you make the racing experience, they're going to want to come back. And
my issue is I got my pits are kind of sucky. They're up and downhill. It's not terrible, but you're not going to want to move it on a cart stand 24/7. So I'm going to try to cut out a little passway. I know it's frowned upon people driving through the pits, but I'll give everyone like a one-time tolerance of, hey, I did this so you don't have to push your cart. But if you can, go through there, you can drive back at least to the pit area. But if you want to go flying back there, it won't happen.
Right.
So I'm going to try to make that happen at least, but we'll see.
What kind of lighting are you going with?
So I have a light plant. I got that sitting down in turn 1 and 2. And then I have a guy on standby to where I can rent one off of him until we can stick another one in 3 and 4. And then I'm going to get some lights. I want to get like almost like the solar lights where they come on at dark just to kind of help light up around the track. And just put some throughout the property. But really, because my building sits right in the middle of the property, so I would like to just hang some like big spotlights off of my pool barn, just kind of help shine them out through the yard. I think that would just help out a lot. But I mean, for the most part, I think lighting will be pretty good. Our last practices, everyone seemed to bring their own like trailer lights and everything, which is pretty nice because you can really see what was going on. That helped out. And then I have, four wheelers and stuff like that where I had someone rolling around saying, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what's going on. So it's not really a guessing game. And that's my whole thing is I hated going to a track to where nobody knew what was going on. You had to guess when you were supposed to line up, or then you're sitting there for 3 hours. Then you finally get to go out on the track. We're going to try to keep everyone. I've been racing for a very long time, and I'm just trying to take what I've learned over the years as a driver and try to put into the perspective of, hey, let's do it this way. And just see what happens.
Right. Well, you've run dirt tracks, so there's places you've gone, and I've done the same thing. Things I didn't like how they did, and there's other tracks I've been to. I liked how they done the show.
Absolutely.
I try to do the same thing down here. I try to keep it interesting as much as I can. We have several. Well, I can't say. I'd say about half a dozen shows we do a year where we do like 50 lap shows and things like that.
That's cool.
Kind of, do things that way. Kind of, I wouldn't say really promote it so much, but I just try to change it up. And there's different nights, like we do one on Halloween, Labor Day, 4th of July, and all these. We don't pay money out down here for money shows. So we do trophies and prizes. And sometimes I get local people, they sponsor something like we got a local shop down here. It's a Napa shop. And last year they gave us about, I don't know, $600-700 worth of tools.
Nice.
And that was at the end of the year, and we do something like that. I don't do the money shows because money changes everybody's attitude a little bit.
$10 is 10,000.
Yeah. I mean, and we run just as hard over a trophy down here like you think we're running for $1 million. And I'd hate to see what it was like if we had big money on the line for something like that.
Right. Absolutely.
Probably lose friends, really. But, but that's the way I do mine. And it helps also save a lot with the legality of the track. So
how do you guys do your cautions? Or do you do the no stop rule, or are you guys on a more like gentleman's agreement of, hey, I took him out?
Well, no, we got a flagger and everything. If you look right here, I got lights up on both ends.
Okay.
So that's at the flag stand, and they can control that. And far as we haven't really had any arguments yet about who needs to take the tail.
Okay.
Now, if anything, I would say it's more like a gentleman's agreement, you might say, because if anything, a lot of times, I've took a tail times when it might have been iffy.
Right.
But, usually if it's kind of iffy, you just kind of communicate with the guy you got into. We haven't had anything blatant, like nobody's tried to kill anybody or run them into something or something like that.
Absolutely. Right.
But a lot of times if I go into a turn, I know I'm getting a little too loose and it's my fault, and they tag me because I'm, too far out of shape, that's my fault. I take the tail. I don't start, nobody argues about that or anything like that. So we don't really have much trouble. And
See, we've had that here, and that's where we're on like a no stop rule. It's if you're the caution car, whether or not, and everyone uses the excuse of, well, if you can clearly see that they were taken out, they go to the tail. Yes, that's more the obvious question, but I don't like if, and like I said before, is the flat cart game of pushing and shoving to pass somebody. If, you've been beating the back bumper off for the last 5 laps.
Yep.
it's hard. It's a hard pill for me to swallow of giving up a spot just because he's beating the hell out of you. You know what I mean? So if you go in there and drive in deep and you tag his left rear and he's spinning, that's on you. He didn't just lose control. He's been in the same line the last 5 laps and you've been following him. Find your way around him.
Yep. I agree.
So
we do it just like dirt track does. I mean, as far as now, obviously, if something's going on, you stop on the track during, just like you go to a regular race. You stop on the track, you bring out a caution.
You're going to the tail.
You're going to tail. But on the same token, we got 2 guys. One's on the flag stand, one's in the infield. And, if it's your fault, it's your fault. Go tail. We haven't had any problems with that. So,
right. I'm curious this year on what it's going to be. Like I said, I'm more on the judgment call rule. And if people want to come and argue with me at the end, I guess I'll just take the ripping and we'll go from there. But I'll feel better.
Just like when you go to track, when you get up there, you do your pit meeting before everything starts.
Yep.
Be very upfront how you're going to run it. Tell everybody listen, this is how it's going to be. If you want to argue with me about it, whenever the race is over, you come, make your protest or say, speak your piece, but don't be out here throwing helmets and starting crap.
I'm just going to put a complaint box at the bottom of the flag stand. And I'll just read them later.
Just make it out of a trash can.
Right. Yep. Yep. No, I think we'll be okay. There's, you have your fellow good. There's a lot of good racers around here that's helping out the people that's just getting started. You don't see a lot of rough driving around.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, and I'm kind of proud to say that because, I like the fellow racer. I enjoy going and just watching the go-kart racing because it is exciting. It is fun to watch. And it's bad when you see someone just go in there and take somebody out for no reason. So that's one thing I like to keep going is, you're not watching the fights, you're watching racing.
Right.
If I want to watch fights, I'd go sit at the bar and watch UFC.
Yeah.
You know, so it's nice seeing it still separated. That's what I enjoy. And
Yeah.
go-kart racing has always been a big part of me. So
Mhm.
being able to run my own track, that's what really got me going into this. So, I just want to kind of give back to the racers and give them somewhere nice and enjoyable place to run.
Yep. Absolutely.
Well, I think too, as you get going and as every race that you have, you will be like, you'll sit there and tell yourself, okay, we need to improve on this, or we did this. You know what I mean? And you'll find your own thing. And like Jake said, there's tracks that we've all been to that, hey man, I loved how they did this, and you just try to acclimate it into yours. I
Right.
mean, you'll find it. You'll find what really works for you guys, and you'll build off of it. But I think you got a great base going. I mean, uh, can't wait to come out there and see the track next week and see how it is. Unfortunately, I won't be ready, so I can't run it, but I will get there. I mean, but I don't know, man. I just like the tracks opening up. It just gives everybody a different taste, a different flavor of like tracks. Like I'm basically a jug run guy. I mean, that's where I go, and I mean, I love that track, and yeah, it's nice. I'm telling you from a racer's perspective, it's nice to get out and get to a different track just to go try it.
Absolutely.
You know,
It
I
makes
mean,
you a better driver too.
yeah,
Setting your car up and yourself up for just one track, and then you go somewhere else and wonder why. Oh man, them guys are so much faster than me.
right,
It's the same thing. If you race at the same exact track for 20 years, you're going to be way better than the guy that just now showed up. You
yeah,
know,
and you also get that too. You can go to a track and you can be faster than them, and they're asking you what the hell you done. You know what I mean? And how
right?
how you do this, and that's it, man. You get everybody's got a different point of view when it comes to this, and like I said, none of us got the 100% answer. Like I take a little bit of Jake, I take a little bit of Shane, you know what I mean, the other guys that I'm around, and you just make your own, and you just find your niche, man. And I I think you're going to have a really good turnout, and I mean you're in a good spot. You're on a Friday night. That means that opens up Saturday night to go somewhere else and run and play again. I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that. You know what I mean? You're giving people options.
Right. That's what we liked was, if another track wanted to come on and like, hey, let's do a 2-day show together, or, say we was an in between track. If Little Muskie wanted to have a big race, or, one of our Saturday night tracks was like, hey, you're a halfway point between somebody, they're going to stop at your track Friday. Can we do like a provisional or something for our track? I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's how big do you want to make it? We're right off the main road, right off 70, right off 40. Uh, I mean, we're 30 minutes from both directions from our two major areas here. So, and
I
like
mean,
you said,
that'd be
on
absolutely neat as hell to be like, okay, like let's say Jake's track, your track, Jug Run, and Little Muskie all come together and like, okay, for the next 2 weeks, we're going to start Friday night down at Jake's, and that Saturday or your place on Friday, and then that Saturday at Jug Run. You know what I mean? And then
right.
all can work together and get a little bit of I mean, that's a good idea. It's a really good idea.
Yeah, like I said, later down the road, I'm sure we can make a lot of stuff like that happen. It's just you know, let's get my goal is just get through this year, see
Yeah.
what
Oh, for
happens,
sure. And,
and
and I mean, I haven't seen it in person, but I mean, what you're telling us here tonight, I just think it's going to get better and better and better as you go. You
I'm
know,
hoping.
yeah.
I'm
I mean,
You'll
I'm
find your
positive.
rhythm.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't easy going with you, Jake, when you started yours. I mean, you know what I mean? None of it is. I mean,
Mine blew up so quick. It was kind of it was a change because it seemed like overnight it went from just me and the kids to I got a bunch of people showing up here. I got to do something.
Yep. Yep.
so I mean, how did that come about, Jake? I mean,
Well, just word of mouth. We done it for a summer there when COVID was around because that's why we built the track. I have something to do, and one buddy told another buddy. Then a couple guys come down, and we had a few carts here. Me and the kids played on. Then they come down. They jumped on them. We was playing around, and then somebody bought one. Somebody else bought one, and next thing I know, we got people everywhere. And at this point, I'm running the track lights off a generator, and I just got maybe just a few lights up in the middle, and it just kind of blowed up. So that next year, I went and we set poles and set lights, and we put a nice flag stand up and put turn signal lights up there or your stop lights and stuff. That way we didn't have to have extra people that we didn't need. And because pretty much everybody races at one point or another, and we'll trade off on it, if we have to on the flagging. But yeah, it just, and then I had to try to make more room for parking, which I'm still limited on parking, but I'm out of room. But I've had to do a lot. Bleachers, that was another thing. Bleachers, I had to put in bleachers. I mean, just then my wife, she does the food every week, and that's a whole other job, which I'm glad I don't have to handle. But so that's
that's what I'm saying, Blake. Like his story. It started out in COVID, and I mean now every weekend he's full.
Absolutely.
That's just the way it goes. I mean, It's great. I mean, like you're kind of like sandwiched, really, Blake. You got Honda Hills right down the road from you too.
Yep, Honda Hills right up the road. Limestone's right over the hill to South Zanesville. Jug Run right over the hill in Frazeysburg. With Hillbilly Hillside right over there as well. And then going towards Zanesville's Little Muskie. And then if you want to take a little haul out to Bears, I think Bears is like an hour and 40 minutes from here.
And then you also got Dixie Hollow too when they're open.
Dixie Hollow on Sundays. Yep.
Is not too far away.
What else is there? Two Brothers. Two Brothers is another track that's not too bad.
Yep, Two Brothers is down there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Jake's is down the road from Two Brothers.
Yeah, pretty good down the road, but we're down.
I mean, for track wise, it's.
Oh yeah,
out that direction.
I mean, you just look on the southeast southern part of Ohio, how many go-kart tracks there is. I mean,
right,
insane. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just imagine if you can bring all these tracks together, and you know what I mean, and just run. I mean, holy cow! I mean, that's huge.
Well, Portsmouth is closed.
Yep.
I mean, we could see if they want to rent that track out for a night.
What is it?
Portsmouth Raceway.
Yeah, I am so baffled by that.
Yeah.
I am just so baffled by that decision.
Yeah. Well, it's been coming, and then the owners and stuff that he just kind of, I think he's at a point where he's tired and he'd rather do something else. So I think
you also got 35 down your way too. They used to run cars down 35.
Yeah, 35 would be a good one.
Oh, they used to run cart down at 35. I know, like when Trevor and I really started like kind of dipping the toe into karting, there was a guy, we were with Bickers Racing and running the open wheel modified, and he had a guy by the name of Kevin. I can't remember his last name. Trevor will be able to tell you, but he gave Trevor like his first chance at running a go-kart, and that kind of lasted with Trevor forever, you know what I mean? And always trying to repay that back, but he ran at 35, and I thought, holy big ass track for a go-kart, man. But those guys would get up and go.
Oh, I love it out there with the mod lights. That's a fun little boring.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how a mod light would run on Atomic.
We honestly tried to get them to do it because Atomic used to have a go-kart track. It was called KC Speedway. They ran theirs right in the pits. I've never actually raced on Atomic, but that'd be something else.
That track is wicked fast.
Which I'm excited this year. Tyler County is bringing us on.
Oh, really?
And I ran Tyler County in a modified, and that track is hammered down. I mean, it's you're up on the wheel 24/7. So I'll be excited to hit that place up too with the mob bite.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Michael, what's the new one in New Lex? That's to be the first one I've heard of this one. If you can lighten that up and let me know, I'll pass it along. Yeah, there's just so many tracks, man. Like it's great, you know. And
Speaking of getting the tracks together, Phil, we're going to do this thing down here at the fairgrounds, Soda County, September 20th. We're going to have classes down here, be inside the fairgrounds, do that. We'll have a grandstand, plenty of pits, nice lighting. The Southern Ohio Renegade Rumble on September the 20th. We're going to have, I think, 6 classes.
Okay.
Yep. Be stock repairing. The Renegade class is the ones the guys that run my track over here. We'll have stock repairing also, medium and heavy. We're kind of get together on the smaller classes. We're going to have a juice box class and see what we're going to do. But me and Phil's kind of working on that there together and see what we're coming up with. But that's going to be September 20th for the other tracks. And them guys want to come down at Soda County Fairgrounds, which if you've been down to Portsmouth this way, Blake, you'll know where that's at.
Yep.
Yeah, nice place, great facility. So we're going to have that, which I'll be posting stuff about that soon, letting people know. So that's going to be a good show.
What day did you say that was? September 20th?
September 20th.
September 20th. Gotcha. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Like I said, we're going to have a class for my guys that run here, and then we're going to have the stock pairings. Then we'll have the mediums, heavy and medium clone. And then I'd like to get like a box stock class. Might put an age limit on it. I'm not sure about that yet. And then run the juice boxes for the kids and stuff. But
that's something else we're doing too. And I'm glad you said it, is the juice boxes. We are running them. My goal is to actually build them their own little track with using the front stretch as well.
Yeah, kind of cut it off inside.
Correct, because me and Parker was talking about it the other day, and I told him, I was like, I like to see racing. I was like, even I don't care the age. I said, I think it would be hilarious to see, a little track for the little tykes, and be actually for them to learn to race each other. Not just one. You got your one brave kid that'll hold the gas pedal down, and then the one that's still trying to figure out how to get it going. You're gonna lap them. So let's figure it out.
I enjoy watching those guys run up at Jug Run too. It's funny. Yeah. My wife enjoys watching them. It's just neat seeing those guys and girls out there running, and they, in their own mind, they think that they're hot shit. Like, you look at me. What I mean? It's great, man. I mean, that's what the sport's all about.
It's racing's a dying sport, and that's the only way you're going to keep it going is experiences like that.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And guys like you guys having your own track and getting guys and people more involved and stuff, and other racers bringing other people in and getting them set up and getting them out there and running. If it isn't for that stuff, you're right, Blake. It would die. It would die quickly.
Go-kart racing actually around here was pretty much on its way out. I would say probably about 3 years ago. Like it was when I started getting out of it. The go-kart tracks were still pretty much alive. But I would stand up to anyone and say, like, these last 3 years, go-kart racing's been growing finally back around this area, I would say. And I'm glad to see that there's so much. And I think, one big thing is that Predator series, because the box stock guys, I mean, you're talking, I think Bear had 40 some or 50 some Predators at the last one. I mean, they was running like 2B mains and stuff like that. I mean, it's just, there's a lot of go-karts. And that Predator class is a good, affordable way to get into it. Now they're allowing the treaded tires. Now you're not spending all the money on prep. And a lot of them guys don't even wash them anymore. The treaded tires is kind of like your lazy way of still being fast and not having to do the tire game.
Yeah. Me and Shane have talked about the tire game here for weeks now.
Yeah.
There's so much money going into every kind of prep you can buy, and everybody wants to sell you this and sell you that. I'm of the opinion if I could get 4 good tires to put on that's going to run me all night long, that's what I want to do. Get them to that point, get the Duro where I want them. Even at my track, we don't wash them in between races, and we go out for hot laps. We run our heat races. Then we run our points feature, and then we'll have 2 to 3 features after that. And all those are 20-lap features. And we don't wash them and prep them in between. And we don't have any trouble when that happens.
What's pretty cool with Slider Nationals out here, that's how their rule is. They actually go around with a paint can and they'll spray on the tire to where, they can tell it's a dirty tire. And if you blow one or something, you have to physically go up there and show them the tire like, hey, this is your paint mark. It's junk.
Yep.
And then, I don't know. I like that. I think that's cool.
I don't think that a go-kart racing shouldn't have to be that expensive. Me and Phil was talking earlier today about some of the engine components and things that they're trying to kind of do now. I think a lot of these guys get together and they try to kind of they base their price off of what so-and-so's doing, and they base their price off what someone else is doing, and this is how everything goes. Not that I'm saying they're ripping people off. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that a lot of things are more expensive than what they should be for what you're getting. I mean, back when I run late model, you could buy one of those now. Of course, it's been 20 years ago, but you could buy a late model back then for what you're giving for a chassis now for a go-kart. So things have they've changed astronomically, which I know everything's went up, but I don't think go-karting should have to be that expensive. I mean, it's an entry-level thing. I mean, let's face it, you're kind of the bottom rung go-karts as far as the racing spectrum goes. You're not racing NASCAR, but you're not running dirt track cars. It's go-kart. But just because it's go-karting don't mean it has to be, super expensive, and it don't mean it can't be fun, and it don't mean that it can't be, super competitive either. But I think there's ways of making it to where it doesn't have to be just dump money to be first.
A lot of that is I would say the Predator class. You don't have to have the best of the best to go out there and win. As long as you got a good free rolling cart, some decent tires. I mean, I know guys around here that's running dry rotted POSs and they're prepped good. They're still somewhat sticky, and they run pretty good. Even Bear, he's not on a brand new cart and he sells them. I'm pretty sure his is like a 2013 or 2014.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they're still winning races.
Mm-hmm.
I love Phantom Nemesis. That's by far my favorite cart, and they was built in 2000 to 2003, or 2004, and I would buy one tomorrow.
Yeah,
but
I'm running a Shadow.
Shadow, yep.
Yeah, they haven't made Shadows for what, 10 years?
I think a lot of the your new the new Tricon that just came out. To me, if you're just getting into the sport and everything, yes, you're not going to go buy that go-kart.
Right.
But it's also just kind of like the big cars too, is if you have the money, you got to tell yourself, would you? If you had an extra $10,000 in your budget for go-kart racing, are you going to go spend $1,000 on a go-kart from some dude's shed? Or, would you rather go to Phantom Chassis and order one right off the lot?
Yeah.
And there's guys that do that. I mean, even, for the big car guys, sport mods. I mean, there's guys that are building $40,000 rollers to go race for $400.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, but this is a really good debate because, I'm kind of like you, Jake. I mean, we've had this conversation. I think the go-kart is for a guy or a family, whatever it is, woman, child, whatever, is built for the person that is a diehard racer but doesn't have the funds to go sport mod or late model or mod white. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. It's got
like if you're going through so many parts too, then you're not doing something right.
yeah. I don't know, man. I just always thought this was like the economical way of being a racer and being considered as a racer that you can be without spending a crap ton of money. It's just like, Blake, I know you got kids, you know what I mean? Like I had 3. So when my 3 kids were younger and of age to get into this, we didn't have the money to go run, you know what I mean, a big car or anything like this. And I think that's what's great about this sport, go-karting, is it gives people that opportunity. And what we were talking about earlier is when you get out of that class, I love like the Predator. I'm with you. I think that Predator series is great for the beginner. Get them in there, get them acclimated, get them seat time. They get to go out there. They don't have to have the best of the best. Like you said, they can go out there and they can get a chassis. Hell, a non-adjustable chassis. You can still be competitive. You know what I mean? But as they get into it, and the more they get into it, they're going to be like, oh, I want to go faster, or oh, I want to do it. Then that's when you really have to make the decision. Like Blake said, do you want to spend that money, or do you want to stay down in the Predator and continue to build off of it and win races? If we go higher, the funds are a little bit less. You know what I mean? Because really, let's face it. Like the new chassis that Phantom came out with, I looked at it when it dropped, and it was like over $4,000.
Yep, the Tricon.
Yeah, it's over $4,000. You know what I mean? I'm just like, holy shit! Who can afford that? You know what I mean?
All titanium, lightweight stuff. I mean, it's pretty to look at, but yeah, no, I agree. Is why would you want to spend for a box stock guy like ourselves? Is why would you want to spend $4,000 to go race for a sticker?
Right. So getting back to what you said earlier about 3-4 years ago when the sport kind of seemed like it was dying, right? Was it because of the pricing of everything between a chassis and a motor? Because let's face it, Predator really wasn't a big thing 3 or 4 years ago, right? So
we had the box stocks. It wasn't even Predators. They were still mixing in the clones and stuff like that into it.
That's what I'm saying. So I mean, the clone. Okay, I'm not bashing clone. I don't run a clone. I don't bash it. I'm not going to bash it. But have anybody ever looked to see what it costs to build a clone motor? I have, because Shane lives down in Georgia, which he is in the mecca of clone world down there. It's expensive. It is expensive to build a clone motor. And if you're not running and you're not winning races and money races, I just don't see the point of it. That's what I'm saying. That's why I like Ohio's racing, because we have the Predator stuff. And you can build on that Predator. You can make it faster if you got the funds, and you can move up into class. But when you go and let's say you're buying a head, right? Like you're building a stock appearing, and either you're going to 2 things. You're either going to build the head yourself, but if you don't have the machinery to port and polish and set valves and all that stuff, you're going to have to go outside the norm and have it built, right? So those, you can't touch a head for less than $600 to over $1,000. How is that economically affordable for somebody like a Blake Morris or a Jake or a Phil or a Timmy down the road trying to build it and just trying to go out there and have fun, and it's their sport and they're trying to support it? They have to go to these people to do it, and the pricing is outrageous. It's outrageous.
So speed costs. That's the only bad thing is how fast do you want to go.
It does, and I agree with it. And I agree, man. If you took the time to learn how to port and polish and all that stuff, you should get paid for it. I'm not debating that. What I'm debating is like, come on, man. Is really a 212 head really worth $1,000? You know what I mean? That's what I'm getting at, is like winning race. Like Dustin is saying, winning races, you can win it with cheap equipment. You just got to work harder at it.
it makes the it makes the victory more sweeter when you can do it too. Is when you're beating the money. That's
Like
how.
I'm telling you right now, there's no way in hell I'm going to go out and buy an $1,100 head for a stock appearing class. There is no way in hell. I will try to make up that horsepower somewhere else because it's just economically not affordable.
Right, and that's where the Predator cost. I mean, again, is the go karts. It's just about how fast you want to go. How technical do you want to get with it? Because if you do go stock appearing, I mean, you're gonna have to throw some money at it. That's what that class is. How big can you build and go from there.
This is my third year running stock appearing, and I'm telling you, I love that class. I love the speed. I love it. I mean, I love everything about that class. It's just it's expensive. That class is expensive, and I mean, it's a borderline cheaper than a clone. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because the AKRA guys, I'm not sure. Like I said, I've been out of it for a while. I'm not buying one right now, so I haven't been doing the research. But from where I've last heard, a good AKRA motor was roughly around like $1,200 to $1,300.
Right.
I've heard more than that. So
I've heard.
Really?
Yeah. They're way more than that. I can tell you that right now. Like Shane and I, if Shane was still on here, we were looking one day on the phone. We were just chit chatting, and we just got through. We just start looking, and we were about pissing our pants when we seen some of the prices. We've seen them everywhere from $1,500 all the way up to $3,200.
Wow.
And we were like blown away. Like, how in the hell do these people afford this?
Well, those are the same guys that's buying the Tricons, that's going and racing for 5,000, 3,000 to win races. That's why our local guys, that's why the Predator class is so grown, because you can go right there to Harbor Freight, buy $150 motor, and a good Predator motor you have roughly $400 in for the flywheel, valve springs, go through, build it right, legal, but put the good stuff in it. That's a whole lot cheaper than, like as you said, an AKRA motor or to go race. And to me, the go kart racing it's experience. So why would you want to go build a clone motor to run locally with? I think last year, there was a few times I see maybe 4 or 5 guys. I would rather race where they have B mains. It's more of a competition thing. If I got to beat 30 guys, I'd rather beat the 30 guys than beat 5.
Yeah.
I mean, a win's a win, absolutely. But if I'm beating them just because I outmoneyed him, I'm not about that.
Right.
Exactly.
And that's what we were talking about is like, like I would like to see it for like in a family or a single parent or whatever. Their kids just absolutely love racing, and this is the only way they can get into it. Right now, for them to get into it, the number is going to be astronomical. You know what I mean? Because you're going to get these guys, like you said, they're in their backyard or wherever, and they've got these carts, and they're like, "Oh, I'll sell it," and then they get out there and they're like, "Oh yeah, I want $1,800 for a $900 chassis." They're not going to know the difference. They're not going to know what the rules are and stuff like that. I would just like to see it change to where somebody like that can do that. Like they can come into this sport and get into it at a cheaper rate and run the Predator class. There is nothing wrong with that class. Absolutely love that class. Nothing wrong with it. I think that makes some of your best drivers. They get in there, they get the seat time, they get the drive, they get the experience. Then they can make the decision if they want to go to super stock or stock appearing. You know what I mean? And then if they choose that, then they're going to spend the money, just like I am. You know what I mean?
Yep. And like I said, if they're my yard cart class, we was talking about age limit the other day, on what we wanted to do, and because I was trying to keep it as adulty, we'll say it like that, as possible, because the one wheel drives, it's yes, you can go pick one up off Facebook for like $150, if that, and then go to Harbor Freight, buy your motor, and boom, there it is. You're going racing. My rules on that, I went through and I thought, when I put mine together out there in the yard to go play, did it as cheap as I could, but as safe as I could as well, because I knew, you're still going to build up some speed. I mean, you can build one of those carts for less than, on the high end, we'll say less than $500, and that's complete. You're done, ready to roll. And it's just, I don't want to see anyone get hurt, because on like the them things are open wheels. They're, I'm not requiring them to. I want them to have at least sides. Something to where if you do go up there and hit somebody, it's not going to hit them. It's going to hit some kind of bar. But I don't want any kids that, oh man, I do this at home, then go in the corner wide open and take out 3 guys because you just, it's a one-wheel drive. So, that's why I have mine set as 18 and up. But I think that's another good entry level of, hey, let's try it first. I hear that all the time is, before going into big cars, man, I wish I could just drive one time before doing it. Well, growing up, having go-karts and whatever, just playing around the yard, that was enough for me to say, hey, what if we start racing these things? Or you and a buddy, drag racing on the street or something like that, any kind of racing, will get your attention. So if we bring that to an actual track where you're watching the racing and then you get to go out on your little thing, go do it, I mean, it's just going to get more of an attention. It's going to be more of a, hey, I want to take that next step on moving up. So I've even thought about going out and buying maybe 4 or 5 of them and letting people rent them out. Someone watching that's never done it before. Hey, just be careful.
Right. Well, somebody posted that one of the people that I'm friends with on Facebook, they posted, I think they're over in Indiana. I'll have to find it and I'll repost it and I'll share it to you guys. But whatever track he's running at, they're having a first time drivers thing where you bring your cart and you have to be a first time, and it's like a class. They teach you about the flags, they teach you about running in and braking and setups and all this stuff all in one day. And I thought that was just neat as hell, man, that track is doing that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, because I mean, you get guys, hell, even our age that's never been in anything. They're going to think that they can go out there and, like you said, your track, Blake, they can go 3 and 4. You know what I mean? And they're going to go down in that first 1 and 2, and it's real narrow, and they're going to be wide open. They don't know that they can't go wide open. You know what I mean? So I think that class is pretty unique. I have to find it and I'll share it. I think every track should do that. Like, hey, man, today is beginner day. You know what I mean? If you're new to the sport, bring it out. We'll show you what you can and what you can't do. We'll help you set it up. That way you're safe. You'll know everything. And then you can go to places like yours and Jake's and go run. You know what I mean? And go have fun. I think I think that was neat how that track did that.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you something we do a lot. We get somebody new a lot of times. I tend to try to steer them this way for their first time out if they haven't been in one. And this goes for people that's even they've run cars before and then they come out. I ask them, you want to take the tail first time out, even after hot laps? Hey, first time out, you want to take a tail? Might be a good idea. And most of the time, they're good for that. I've had a few that ain't, and then they find out it ain't what they thought it was. But it's not a bad thing for someone to request a tail first time out. It's by no means.
It's more of a respect thing of, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. Let me get out of your way.
Yeah. I mean, I did that when I very first started. I took the tail for like the first 5 races.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. A lot of times people, I've seen it even when we run big cars, I've seen people sitting in the stands or walking through the pits. I could do that. That's easy. They just turn left. There's more to it than that. And if they happen to get in one and then they go out and then it's like, man, you guys are moving faster than I thought. Man, it's different. Man, you got to do this. You got to do that. Yeah, it's different. It's not as easy as it looks. So I tend to try to steer people toward a tail for their first time out. And that's why we have our big test and tune coming up here May 3rd. And I go around to everybody, just like I do every year. I just go around to everybody there and try to help watch them, get them on the track, see what they're having issues with, try to make adjustments. And we just stay here until the last person rolls out. But I just go around and just keep helping and see what I can do to try to get people to where they're at least in the ballpark before they come to run.
Right.
You know, and
Well, so I got a buddy of mine that I work with, and I know he's on here. He's listening, and so I got him his first cart, first time being in dirt, first time being in a cart. But on his defense, he used to run down at Shady Bowl. So he was an asphalt guy, and he ran down there. And I try to explain to him, man, going from asphalt to going to dirt, it's a little bit different. You know, the setup is different. You're gonna like the speed, like you said, Jake. Holy cow, you're going faster than what you think. You know what I mean? And I mean, so that's what I like is like helping guys like that out, getting them into this sport, and try and tell them like, hey, man, I know you got a little bit of experience, but this is going to be completely different, like different feeling, different everything, and but it's fun. You know what I mean? It's an absolute blast.
mm-hmm.
And I mean, he'll be fine. He'll do really really good. It's just getting that. And that's what just getting those guys out there to get it. Like you said, it's more than just turning left. Especially when you add in dirt, it's a lot different. You know, I couldn't imagine like Blake's shoes running like at 35 or little musky or musky and then going to the gateway. Completely different. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I mean? It's completely different. Not knowing what to expect. So
And that's the bad thing is I was racing on bigger tracks all my life, and then going to Gateway where the reaction times and everything, you're going slower, but your reaction times have to be way faster. That was definitely a change, but
It is.
that's where I liked. I ran just about everything on dirt except for a sprint car. Uh, but it all comes back to you of, hey, what are you doing right now? So like the Mob Lights to me drive almost like a out of uh, out of shape go kart sort of say is they're so small, they're so compact. Um, the reaction time on the steering is so fast, but it's you know obviously it's a lot more than that. But just the reference wise of, hey, it comes back from that experience of when we used to do this, or we go on these smaller tracks of what you learn to go kart race and how to use the brake, how to get through a dry slick turn, on slicks especially. So I don't know, man. I mean, don't take go kart racing for granted. It's definitely and that's why I like it so much. There's a lot of technique to it. There's a lot of setup, tires, air pressure,
right.
the preps, the you know, even the tire itself. I mean, you could have a dud. You could have one that just won't take the prep as good as the others, or one that's just way too soft. You prepped it way too much, and now it's just sitting there. Uh, like I said, that's one reason why I enjoy it. It's a hell of a sport.
You're right, and there's an art to it. You know what I mean? There's an art to it. Like you said, reading the track, reading the prep, reading the tires, your setup. There's just an art to it, and then getting it to stick to the track and be competitive in and out of traffic is a whole nother thing on its own. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And like when I was growing up, my old man, he's a racer, still is. I didn't just get to go play. I had to learn how to work on my stuff. If I didn't work on the go kart, I was racing mini wedges growing up. If I didn't work on it throughout the week, I didn't go racing that weekend. He was an over the road truck driver. He was gone Monday through Friday, so it was kind of up to me growing up on, hey, what can I do to help? And we learned real quick on, hey, this is what you have to do to be winning races. I won a lot of races growing up, and a lot of it is, what he taught me and just basic stuff, spraying bearings, keeping tires clean, keeping stuff freed up. And you'll be surprised on how much, if you take care of your stuff, on how much faster you'll actually go just by being free. And little tricks of the trade, you learn more about your cart. Like, Shane's little girl, he had her on there and, said it's all tore down. Well, if she's sitting there watching and can kind of help, find something when she's sitting there and, playing with the steering wheel or something, like, hey, this don't feel right. It's tight. Okay, right now you got a hind joint freed up and your kid just found it. That's awesome. That's stuff that they should be able to tell you of, hey, this is what's going on, this is what's wrong, or I can't turn, or the gas pedal ain't working. I mean, it's just you got to have that connection with your driver. And we watched the racing. I didn't just go play around. It's you sat right there and you watched what was going on in front of you, watched the track, try to learn. Hey, it's real dry here, it's real wet right here. Don't go through that. That's rough. And that's how I was able to read the holes and everything, because we ran the stock car tracks. We didn't have go-kart tracks when I ran mini wedges. They put us out on. I would race Muskingum County Speedway on the big track, Midway, Hilltop. And you see a lot of kids doing this number, bouncing all over the place, and I feel like we was one of the smoother ones.
Nice.
So,
I mean, I'm just, that's what excites me about it is, everything that we had discussed with your track, Blake, and you getting it up and running. I like seeing it come together from the ground up, and what you're going through and what you have to put together, and how much time you have in it just for these guys to go race. And I want these guys to understand that there's more to it than them just showing up and going on the track and driving.
Correct. Like I said, we love it. And I'll do anything I can to help out, local tracks and just whoever I can, drivers. I mean, like I said, I'm not the best dude out there, but setup wise, but I can do my best.
Right.
There's always someone better. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I can get you in a ballpark. I've been to victory lane, but everyone's different. So, I mean, that's another part of the fun is just seeing how everyone else drives. You could jump in someone else's cart and love it, and then they take it right back out, and you turn the fastest lap in their cart.
Right. That's great. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just more like a brotherhood anymore. A big family atmosphere. And I think if we continue that we can get more people involved and it can continue to grow. And we wouldn't have the area, like you said, 3 or 4 years ago where it was almost dead.
Yeah, a lot of it, I-77 Speedway shut down. There was a lot of fights everywhere. The clones around here were actually pretty big with the AKRA. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and point on why it started fading out, but I just remember, we'd go to the go-kart tracks and there wasn't a lot of people there anymore. But since these last, like I said, 3 or 4 years, it's starting to pick back up. And like I said, that's what's getting everyone more excited. And I think a lot of it is to do with these predators. There's just so many of them.
Yeah, I mean, at Jug Run, I can tell you, I'm there every weekend. I mean, their stock class and their 250 stock class, they would have 2 or 3, classes of those in each, and then super stock. There's been plenty of times there's 2 of those. Their mod class. I mean, it's like, holy cow. And then like, I remember quite a few times last year, their cart count was way over in the 80s and 90s. I mean, so that tells you it's strong. I mean, I don't know what you average down there, Jake, but you're not really open to the public. It's more, but
about semi-private.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So I mean, what do you average? What, about 40 carts a weekend?
I would say we average about that. We've had, I don't know, we've had probably about, I'd say 25.
I mean, that's good for being semi-private. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, I think you're in a good area, Blake. I mean, you got Honda Hills. I mean, you got all these tracks around you that everybody has a chance now to go race Friday and Saturday.
Right. That's why I went Fridays.
Yeah, and if you're not running, Muskie might be running. You know what I mean? They always run on a Friday.
Right, and see, that's where I went. I actually based my schedule off of theirs, so we don't have anything overlapping each other. So the nights I'm not racing, our track, if Muskingum's running, I try to tell everyone, hey, go out there. There's still, it gives you another Friday night track. So now we have 2 tracks here locally on Fridays, so you can do either Friday or Saturday nights.
Yeah, and then Honda Hills, I think, is running on Saturdays. I have to ask Andy, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Jug Run runs every Saturday. Um, I haven't seen Limestone's schedule yet,
I
but
think they're doing. I think they're also doing like 7 or 8 races. But
yeah.
they're on Saturdays. I'm pretty sure.
And then you got Dixie Hollow. I mean, there's just some really good tracks around that if you can't find a good track to go run, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, I'm trying to get with Midway Speedway right there in Crooksville. We've been in communication about building a go-kart track down there as well.
Inside the bull ring?
Well, we was going to use the front stretch and the infield
Okay.
to make a track, and then
That'd
run
be
them on either Fridays or Sundays.
that would be interesting to run that one too.
Yeah, because they do the derbies out there, and they drag grandstands onto the front stretch to let people watch down there. So I told them, I was like, hey, we do that on either a Friday or a Sunday. We could do that same exact thing, is set up a whole little facility right there for go-karts.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be really nice. Well, everybody go out, and Blake's opening up Test and Tune this week. I think the weather's supposed to be pretty decent too.
We're hoping. I'm gonna fight through the cold this week. Like I said, I'll probably post some pictures tomorrow, some videos on just kind of like what we're doing. I'm hoping the rain somewhat stays away. I actually got called off work for tomorrow because the weather's supposed to be coming in, so we ain't doing no concrete tomorrow. So I'll be getting up in the morning and pumping that water out and seeing what we can do. But yeah, we're excited.
Supposed to rain Thursday, and then Friday as high as 50, low as 38.
Yeah, and like I said, if it gets too bad, I can always push it back. I think Sunday was supposed to look pretty good. So if it gets too bad, we'll push it back a little bit, or maybe we'll do two.
Wear your Long Johns. Come on now.
Yeah, right. Long Johns, and wear your safety gear. You'll be nice and warm, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, your head's right beside the motor, so
yeah.
Right. Just run more laps.
Just
right,
more laps.
That's it.
More laps. Here we go.
Let it warm up a little bit.
Yeah. Blake, I appreciate you coming on here, man. You're welcome on here anytime you ever want, just to either bull crap or get in on a discussion. You're always more than welcome. You and anybody else you got it, with you, more than welcome to be part of the community here. Jake,
I appreciate that.
He's just a permanent member now. He doesn't know it, but we just said yeah.
Good deal.
I got Shanghai like pirate or something.
Yeah. So I mean, it's great, and that's what it's all about, man. I'm glad that I was able to build this and give guys like you two guys, or racers and track owners, able to come on here and tell us all about your stories and racing and all that stuff, and help get you guys' name out there. We're growing slowly but surely, but we're growing, and we'll do anything we can to help you guys. Most definitely. Blake, if you need help on a Friday, you have my number. You know how to get a hold of me. Call me. I will come down and help you on a Friday. No big deal, man. I appreciate you. I called you earlier this week and asked you if you can do me a favor. You said, yeah. We're just looking at the weather, and I appreciate that, and I owe you one for that. And whenever you guys want to come back on, talk, just let me know.
Good deal, man.
All right. I'll be down there Friday. If you race Friday, let me know for sure, and I'll come down and I'll help you.
Yeah,
I'll do
absolutely.
whatever you need me to do, man. If you need me to run a flag, I'll run a flag. If you need me to, whatever you need me to do, I'll help you.
I appreciate it. And again, to the people that's listening that's been asking about our schedules, if anyone here local, again, April 11th is our open practice. April 18th is our opening night. May 23rd, June 20th, July 18th and the 19th, August 29th. And our Ohio Valley Predator Championship is on September 19th. And then the Thunderbolt Speedway Championship for our point series is October 10th. And then we're shooting for November 14th for like a little turkey bash. So I'll be putting that out on Facebook on our new updated schedule. And we'll be going racing.
As soon as you put it out there, I'll share it. Get you out there. And I appreciate, again, you guys coming on. I'm going to kind of wind the show down, end it. we all got work tomorrow except for Blake. Obviously, he said he got called off. Lucky dog. So, but rest of us guys will go to the slave and grind. We'll go to work tomorrow.
That's it. I'll send a prayer for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So, thank you again. Thank you for
You guys
everybody.
take care now.
Jake, you got
Yep,
anything
thank you, buddy.
You want to sponsor or anything or?
Not right now.
You're
I've
waiting
been
on me. I know you're waiting on me. I'll get that to you tomorrow.
You're fine. But yeah, no, I'm just going to say about that race again. We got it coming up September 20th. We're going to run those classes that I mentioned, and it's going to be down here at Soda County Fairgrounds, and try to make that as big as we can. Blake, all your guys, you know what, if they're following any of them classes, more welcome to come down. Either if they don't follow any of them classes, tell them to come down anyway. We're all going to have a good time and try to make it as big as we can. If it goes well, we'll do it again next year, and maybe add more classes, make it even bigger. But it's a great facility. Be a good place to put something like that on. Originally, want to make it a 2-day show, but just for the first time out of the gate, just make it a one-night deal, see what happens.
Good deal.
Yeah, September 20th at Soda County Fairgrounds.
All right. Well, guys, I appreciate it. Let's keep it going, and we'll see you back here next week as we get closer and closer to race season.
All right, buddy.
All right.
Take care.
Thank
Y'all
you,
take care now.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.